Occurred, the 10th of January 1998, 22:24. Location: Lowell. In shape, duration, 30 seconds. Characteristics: there were lights on the object, no craft seen. We heard a bang against the house and the bedroom blinds began turning red as if someone had backed a car up to our bedroom window and stepped on the brakes. Our bedroom window is 8 feet off the ground. By the time I looked out, the red light had gone out. But at the back of our property, approximately 300 feet away at a group of trees, there appeared to be a column of fire coming from the inside the group of trees. 5 to 10 feet wide and about 30 feet high. It only lasted 2 or 3 seconds. At the time this occurred, there was a very light covering of snow. I went out to the trees to see what had been on fire and found no sign of anything, no snow was even melted. The next day I searched the farm field behind us and also found nothing. It's been 2.5 years since this happened and we still don't have any idea of what it was. One of our neighbors saw the bright red light that lasted only a couple of seconds, but not the fire. We just wonder if you have ever heard of anything like this. Thanks. Maybe crazy. Name deleted. NUFORC note: since the witness addresses lights, we presume that the sighting occurred at night. Hence, we have changed the time from 10:24 hours to 22:24 hours.
Occurred, November 16, 1999, 1800. Location: Lowell, outside of, on I-65 northbound. In shape, rectangle. Duration, 2.5 minutes. Characteristics: there were lights on the object. I was driving back on Interstate 65 northbound and looked toward the sky and saw a craft shaped like a rectangle flying alongside of my car in sky. I was driving along Interstate 65 northbound where there is a lot of open space, farmland, acres and acres of land. I noticed how black the sky was and a few stars and saw something shaped like a rectangle, like the size of the windows on this form that we use to fill out information. I was traveling about 70 miles per hour and saw this shape traveling in the sky alongside of the car. I thought it was a shooting star, but it didn't have a tail and it was airborne too long. It never disappeared in the sky. As I slowed down, the object got closer and I was able to see it much clearer. This object had several windows that were separated by some kind of bar and very bright lights. I was stunned by what I saw and pulled off the road to get a better look, but the craft disappeared. My husband said there were several shooting stars and meteors sighted that night and airplanes were chasing the stars, but these were not stars and this was not an airplane. It was some kind of craft.
Occurred, September 13, 2001, 2300. Location: Lowell. In shape, fireball. Duration, 2 minutes. Characteristics: there was an aura or haze around the object. There were aircraft in the vicinity or aircraft chasing the object during Sept 11's no-fly order. Red ball is chased down by possible military aircraft and both vanish. A day or two after the September 11th, while the entire nation had a flight ban, I heard what sounded like a huge plane fly over town. I heard it approach our house and was able to still hear it after it passed town limits. Since I knew no planes were supposed to be in the air, I went out my front door, which faces the south. I noticed what looked like a fireball floating in the air, staying in one spot. I watched as the plane that flew overhead and quickly appeared to get within a very short distance of the ball. The ball seemed to arch east. And then both the plane and ball disappeared. It has been many weeks, so I hope I haven't forgotten any important details. NUFORC note: date may be approximate.
Occurred, May 29, 2016, 0000. Location: Lowell. In shape, triangle. Duration, unknown. Characteristics: there were lights on the object. Looking out of my window, I saw a giant triangle, and then I fell asleep. I woke up suddenly at 12 a.m. on Sunday, May 29, 2016. I remember sitting on the edge of my bed and looking into the sky. I live in a wooded area, and I noticed something very large above the trees. When I focused my eyes upon the shape, it became crystal clear. I could see 4 bright turquoise-colored, round lights on this craft, one on each corner, and one in the middle. Despite the sky being pitch black, the edges of the craft were perfectly clear. The shape was a perfect triangle, and this craft seemed to be the size of an extremely large airplane. I stood up in surprise, hearing a faint ringing in my ears, and then I don't remember anything after that. NUFORC note: witness elects to remain totally anonymous, provides no contact information.
Occurred, January 20, 2020, 17:57. Location, Lowell. In shape, light duration, 30 minutes. Characteristics: there was an aura or haze around the object. Animals reacted to the event. Super bright spherical light hovered in one spot. No sound. Creepy as hell. Not a drone.
Occurred, the 5th of June 2020, 23:40. Location, Lowell. In shape, formation duration, 9 minutes. Characteristics: there were lights on the object, 7 orange lights in formation over Lowell, Indiana in a staggered spread pattern. I saw a formation of orangish twinkling lights over Lowell, Indiana on the night of May 6, 2020 at about 11:40 p.m. They were in a spread pattern, one flying by and then shortly after another following but farther away, and then another farther away, like in a staggered spread pattern but evenly spaced. There were 7 that I saw this way, but there could have been more before I noticed the first one. There were no flashing lights on these and no sound. They were moving at a medium pace and at a fairly low altitude.
Occurred, July 14, 2021, 13:30. Location, Waymansville. In shape, duration, 3 hours. Characteristics: there were lights on the object. This is a possible UFO abduction case. Missing time was experienced. Lost time: my nephew and I were back in the woods hunting for ginseng on this day. We was walking, when we realized we were missing 3 hours of time and in a different woods. When we got back to the house, there was 3 flashes of white light above the woods. We were very confused.
Occurred, June 19, 2005. 000. Location, Indiana. Location unspecified. In shape, other duration, 10 minutes. Characteristics: there was an aura or haze around the object. I was asleep in my bed and woke up suddenly. I faced the door to my room when I sleep. I saw the door was opened a little bit and knew something wasn't right because I sleep with the door shut. I was the only one home at the time too, so I knew that someone had to have opened it. I lay there frozen, afraid to get up and see what was going on. Then I looked over to my left and there were 2 beings standing at the side of my bed. I just couldn't believe it. I thought I was dreaming or something. So they were kind of whitish color and had a sort of a glow to them that was amazing. Then I looked over at the door and there was one there too, like guarding it or something. Then the one closest to me reached out and touched my ribs on my left side. All the while the other 2 were just sort of standing around watching. The one touching my ribs looked at me right in the eyes and he said, "Not be afraid. They did not come to harm me." I was so scared I couldn't even yell or talk. It was like I was in a sort coma where I was aware of everything around me but couldn't speak or move. This lasted for about 2 or 3 minutes, and the next thing I knew I woke up on the other side of my room on the floor, naked. It was really weird too because my side was really cold where I was being touched. My door was closed like normal. I looked at my clock and it was 400 am. I couldn't swallow or anything because my mouth and throat were so dry and I was curled up in a little ball. The beings were, like I said before, whitish in color and had a sort of glow around them. They had big black eyes and really big heads with no ears. Also, I was able to notice they had really long fingers. I don't know, but it scared me so bad I am having trouble sleeping. I don't even sleep in my room. I have been staying with a friend and don't even really try to sleep because I am scared it will happen again. NUFORC note: witness indicates that date of the event is approximate. NUFORC note: witness elects to remain totally anonymous.
Occurred, the 8th of April 2013, 5 o'clock. Location, Indiana. In shape, oval duration, 1 minute. Characteristics: there were lights on the object. Mysterious trip to Indiana. It was about 5 a.m. Me and my mom were on our way back to our house in Indiana. We were visiting Chicago and I had to go to school Monday. So anyways, we were near a lot of windmills and I stared to see this ovalish strange looking shape move up. And I told my mom about it and she quickly turns around and saw it, and I also noticed it had 3 legs to land on. So I'm going to go through it again. It had an ovalish shape, a big window in the front or side, and 3 legs.